Welcome to the fourth episode of Chalk Talk. I'm Keith, I'm a Giants fan, Ashton, the football team fan, DJ, the football team fan, and Sam, the Cowboys fan. So we're going to keep it around the NFC East, and it was pretty much big talk about whether Wentz would get benched for the second-round pick that Jalen Hurts had this year. So he did end up getting benched this year. Do you agree with it, and what do you think they should do with him? What do you think, Ashton?
Personally, it's hard. Like we've been saying all year, he's been in the worst situation possible. I feel that Jalen Hurts came in and played a good game because people weren't strategizing for him. Any backup quarterback could come in and play a game versus a team that didn't scheme for you, watch film against you. They watch film for Carson Wentz. So we're gonna see how Jalen Hurts plays after a team dedicates a full week to locking in on him, watching his film, creating a defense for him. You know, so he came in for Carson Wentz and played good. Okay, we got to see how he plays when the team locks in on him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I don't agree with it. I think Wentz he's in top three in drop balls. He's been sacked at least three times in 10 consecutive games. Like, this is a guy who you put with practice squad receivers and bad O linemen. It's a recipe for the disaster. You put most quarterbacks in that situation, you're gonna get a quarterback who won't have a great year. Last year, he had 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He played good last year, or at least decent. But this year, he's been playing terrible because he either doesn't have time in the pocket, or when he does throw the ball, he has nobody to throw the ball to. Like, as a quarterback, that's the one bad thing you have. Now I don't agree with it, because now you're putting a backup quarterback, I won't say a backup, but a rookie quarterback in against one of the top defenses in New Orleans. It's a recipe for disaster. What do you think, DJ?
It's kind of like you said, Keith. It's kind of a tough thing. Wentz is their guy, so I believe not benching him is a problem. But I mean, at this point, I believe Doug Peterson is saying that their playoff chances are slim. They're not gonna make the playoffs. He's saying at this point he's gonna figure out who's the quarterback for next year after seeing how Wentz has played this year. And he's going to decide off of how, if Jalen Hurts starts for the rest of the year, and then next season, hopefully there's OTAs, there's offseason, the training camp. Hopefully they'll duel it out for whoever has the QB1 job. And yeah, but I think benching Wentz is the right decision. It gives Jalen Hurts a chance to show what he can bring different to the team, and it shows that Doug Peterson might be giving up for Carson Wentz.
I agree 100%.
I think the point that Ashton brought up with like they didn't go into that game thinking we're gonna have the game plan for Jalen Hurts, and I think that played a big part of him coming in that game and having the decent game that he did. And I think now that the team has a full week to go back to his college highlights and see what messed him up, what confused him, I think that's gonna make them struggle. Going on to the next thing, the Jets had one of the most horrendous falls going against the Raiders this year. It was surprising to everybody. Some are even speculating that they did it on purpose because you have a quarterback coming out the draft like Trevor Lawrence. What do we think? What do you think that the Jets lost on purpose for Trevor Lawrence? What do you think, Sam?
I don't think so. I think that Greg Williams, he sent the bit expecting to get their car down to any game. So no fluke stuff like that will happen. Like, he wouldn't be able to get the ball off if the blitz got home. But the blitz just didn't get home. They picked it up. And Henry Ruggs is one of the fastest guys in the league, and he just showed why and ended the Jets. I don't think they lost on purpose. Because he knew he would be getting fired. Like, everybody knew that. And you're 0-10 already. Like, everybody would not do that.
Ashton, what you think?
When I first watched it, I was on the fence of thinking they did it on purpose. You put a no-name corner on one of the fastest receivers in the world in the NFL. But after hearing what Sam's saying, I don't think one win would have hurt their chances of getting Trevor Lawrence, because that's not going to be their only loss for the rest of the season. I feel like they should have. I think they wanted to win that game. You know what I'm saying? 10 straight weeks of losing, you want to give your players you want to let them have a good day one week, So I don't think they lost on purpose. It's the NFL. I think they wanted to win. It was just misunfortunate that Henry Ruggs scored.
Yeah, I agree. Greg Williams is the defensive coordinator, and that's how he's been his entire career as a coach. I was watching Dan Orlovsky. He was an old quarterback for the Colts, and he said he was in the same situation, and Greg Williams did the same thing. He threw a blitz at him, and it's just one of those things where like you don't want to give the quarterback time, but it can either go very well, very right, or very wrong. It's no in between. You either blitz him and don't give him time, or you leave an undrafted cornerback out of Louisville and Lamar Jackson, and you leave him one-on-one coverage with a first-round pick. That's just a recipe for disaster. So I don't think they did it on purpose, but I think it did bode well for them, and I think it just gives them a better chance to rebuild and go for Trevor Lawrence. What do you think, DJ?
I mean, one win, like I just said, one win wasn't really going to change it. I believe at the end of the day, they're still going to have the number one overall draft pick. But a win would have been nice, you know. It's not who wants to see a team go on 16, especially if that's your team. But I mean, I just feel that was a terrible play call at the end of the game. Like I think they sent at least 6 people on a. How much time do you have left? At least
13
12
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah,
13 seconds. Like. And you sent 6 people, just sit and prevent at that point. Just don't let anything deep. And the corner bit. Henry Rose was about to fake like he was running a post. He ran inside, cut back out, and the corner bit on that, knowing that he's in a deep third. You're not allowed to let anything above your head, nobody behind you, anything above your head. So basically, I don't know. That was just goofy. It was a Jets thing.
I don't think it was a bad play call. I think they had no timeouts, 13 seconds left. You're trying to get the quarterback down in the game. I'd rather get the quarterback down and not give up a pass at all than give up a pass in Hail Mary. That's me.
I mean, yeah, it's all with the coach. The coaches, they're there in practice. They practice those type of things, but those are just the type of things that you can't let go wrong, especially when you're going for your first win. But going into this year with the new accusation of DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray's been playing at an MVP level. At first, the Cardinals were on a win streak and they were playing hot. People were scared of their offense. Their offense was the best offense at one point in time. But as of late, the Cardinals haven't been playing that well. Are the Cardinals as big of a playoff threat as we thought? I'll start with this one. I said I don't think they are, because going down the stretch, teams are noticing what their game plan is. Their game plan is around D-Hop and Kyler. If you're able to contain Kyler and keep D-Hop to a minimal amount of yards, like his last 3 games, he's had 5 catches for 51 yards, 5 catches for 55, and 8 catches for 55 yards or 52 yards. If you could keep him to these lower games, Kyler's going to have to use his other receivers, and I'd rather him beat me with his other receivers than just DeAndre Hopkins. If you can keep Kyler from running out the pocket, and you got to remember, he's not that tall of a guy, so if you can jump and try and get those batted balls, your success is going to be increased going off of him playing and going throughout the game. And if you're getting back there, sacking him, containing him, not letting him play his game, that's gonna shake him up a bit. What you think, DJ?
I believe that I think right now they're just not. At first, beginning of the season, they were hot. They were looking real good. Kyler was getting called like a top 4 quarterback in the NFL. People were believing that Kyler hype. I don't think it's anything different now. I just believe now they're playing tougher teams. Like, as you see, they played the Rams. Jalen Ramsey shut down DeAndre Hopkins. I think he had like 5 catches, 38 yards probably. Shut him down. And that's his number one. And in Kyler's defense, I believe he has to, like you said a couple weeks ago, you got to throw your receivers open. I believe that wasn't the case right there. DeAndre Hopkins was just straight up locked the whole game. It was nothing he could really do. But I don't know. I hope they turn it around, because I believe they're a very good team, young team. Hopefully they turn around this playoff push, because, they're in a very hard conference, but there's still a somewhat slight chance that they could come out on top and make a playoff run.
I agree. When Kyler Murray, has his number one, it's like nobody else is in the league is like Jalen Ramsey. That game, you're not going to have D-Hop. Like when you have D-Hop, it changed the game plan for defenses, and the Rams just had a great game plan to shut down D-Hop. Just put Ramsey on him, and that was pretty easy, and contain Kyler. So you could keep a spy on him and send 5 or 4 if you want to. And every team is not like that. So I think they could get in the playoffs if the defense stopped playing together like they was when they was winning. The defense was playing phenomenal. The Baker was looking great. Now he's looking like a mediocre safety. So I think they'll come together and make the playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree with what everybody is saying. But somebody we're not mentioning is Christian Kirk. It's not like he only has one option to throw the ball to. Christian Kirk is also having a good to great season. I feel like if they get in the playoffs, which they will be, if they be able to find a way to implicate him more in the game alongside with D-Hop and complement each other, I feel like they will make a strong push depending on who they play. Because like Sam said, some teams just match up better with them. If you have that shutdown corner, that Pro Bowl corner is going to be easier to beat them than a team that might be better than the Rams, but don't have that shutdown corner. It's a game of matchups, how you match up against Arizona in the playoffs.
Those are all valid points. Going down the lineup, the Cardinals they lost to the Patriots. The Patriots are playing at a high level. They went against the Chargers this past Sunday and beat the Chargers 45-0. And seeing that, do you believe Justin Herbert is still Offensive Rookie of the Year? What do you think, Ashton?
I just want to start with saying last week that I went with New England, saying that this team was turning around. They do have Bill Belichick, and I feel like this is a good veteran team. And like I stated, they will be making a playoff push. I see them, they're bringing it together. So I don't completely – you can't look at their record and say, oh, they lost to a below-average team. They lost to a very good New England team. I feel like they had a good game plan for Justin Herbert. Personally, not including this game, I don't feel like he's the Offensive Rookie of the Year before this game. I feel like it should be Justin Jefferson because of the season he's having, being able to step in for Stephon Diggs, make history, put his name along with some greats like Randy Moss, Anquan Bolden. I just feel like he's having the best season so far. And I think that the Vikings have a better chance of making the playoffs, of course, than the Chargers, who aren't out of it. So I feel like we're going to see Justin Jefferson in the playoffs.
Yeah, like you said, stepping in for Stephon Diggs, those are big shoes to fill. And he's leading all rookie receivers. He's at 26 catches of 15 yards or more. He's the only receiver to reach 1,000 yards in 12 games, and that's like you said with Randy Moss, Anquan Bolden, Odell, and Marquise Colston. Those are some really good receivers, and to do that with your rookie season, that's very impressive. And I think without him, the Vikings wouldn't have went on this win streak to get back into the thick of things. And him being that wide receiver 2, almost that wide receiver 1 for them, aside of Thielen. And with Dalvin Cook coming out that backfield, really gives them an offensive threat that I think they needed to make that playoff push. And I agree with you. I think it's Justin Jefferson. What do you think, Sam?
I think it could go either way, to be honest. Because one game, Justin Jefferson has had bad games. If you go look, Justin Jefferson has not had, you know what I'm saying, outstanding numbers every game. Justin Herbert had one bad game, and Justin Herbert and Justin Jefferson, I think they're neck and neck. I don't think it's a clear winner right now.
I'm not trying to cut you off, but what I'm saying is Justin hasn't had a bad game like Justin Herbert just had. Those stats were pitiful. He almost won me my fantasy game putting up 4 points. I feel like Justin Jefferson, he's putting up them numbers and didn't play.
You can't do that. You can't go rookie of the year one game. That's what I'm saying.
We're not going off of one game. We're just saying Justin Jefferson, he has been consistent week in and week out. He's put up these numbers and didn't even play that much the first 2 games of the season. How is he not consistent?
Justin Herbert been consistent before this game.
But he just played a horrible game, Sam.
Exactly. You're basing that on one game.
I'm not basing it off one game. I'm just saying that Justin Jefferson at this point is playing better than Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's playing at much more of a higher level to where it's harder to game plan for Justin Jefferson than it is for Justin Herbert, because of just the skill level he has, leaving him one-on-one, because you can't double team him because you got Thielen on the other side. Once you once you leave him in man-to-man, I think his combination of route running and speed give him a lethal advantage over the cornerbacks that you put ahead of him, because most teams don't have those two good cornerbacks that can stay in front of those wide receiver ones. And I think it's easier to stop Justin Herbert than it is Justin Jefferson. And I think that's a big part of who should win a Rookie of the Year. Now,
let me say this, Keith. I don't mean to cut you off. Let me say this. All right. Let's look at it though. Justin Herbert did just play the Defensive Player of the Year and Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Jackson, who's been a very good cornerback too. So I wouldn't say that Justin Herbert's not Offensive Rookie of the Year because he just played two great corners, and with even though Keenan Allen is a very underrated receiver and Mike Williams is a very good receiver, they couldn't get open. They were shut down the whole game. They weren't creating any separation. They were a lot, in my opinion, I still think it's Justin Herbert at the end of the day. Like Sam said, Justin Herbert's had multiple 3-touchdown games in a row before this game today. And not to take anything from Justin Jefferson, he's been a great replacement for Stephon Diggs. It's just that Justin Herbert's been doing more for the team. Even though his team hasn't been winning, it's as if he's done more for the team than Jay Jettis has, in my opinion.
Just has had 2 bad games just before that, just to make it clear.
I mean, as a rookie, you're always gonna have bad games, and we've got to take it into account. He didn't start his first 2 games.
No, I'm not talking about those 2 games though.
I mean, yeah, I get you, but you still got to account that he didn't play his first 2 games, and you really can't take that away from him. But at the same time, you can, because Justin Jefferson was still getting pushed into the motion just like he was. So I mean, it's a hard question to answer. It's up in the air between the two. Nobody really can answer that question with how you want it, but
Just Herbert
Yeah.
stop. Justin
Yeah, I
Herbert
just want to
stop.
Yeah. I just want to go on record and say, if you would have told me at the draft that Justin Herbert and Justin Jefferson would have been the best 2 rookies, I wouldn't have thought so. I just want to say they're both having phenomenal seasons, and whoever wins it, I wouldn't be disappointed. But yeah, I'm just going.
It's one of those things where you can't. And I think if the season did end today, I think they would go with the quarterback, because most of the time that unless the receiver is just playing at that high of a level, which Jay Jettis is, but there has to be a lack of quarterback play that year. But most of the time they give it to the quarterback. But the NFC East has had 2 very good and very amazing upsets this week that you can't take it away from either team. Both teams played very highly. And which one do you think was more impressive? What do you think, DJ?
Sorry, my father texted me. Can you repeat the question?
I said,
I start off.
Yeah, go ahead, Ashley. Go ahead.
I want to start off. I'm not going with the Giants, but I do want to give credit where credit's due. They came in with Colt McCoy, a backup quarterback, and be the team that some of us predicted to go to the Super Bowl. So that was a tough win. But I'm just gonna have to go with Washington simply off the fact that we beat an undefeated team. We came back, we fought, and yeah, I'm just gonna have to go with Washington simply off that. We lost our starting running back, and we just had to adjust. We played great defense, great 4th down stop on the goal line. We played sound defense. It's like our defense holds us in the game for the first half, then waits to our offense to wake up. Our offense is always non-existent in the first half, but we didn't go down. We came back, fought back from 14-0, and I feel like that's the most impressive win.
DJ, the question was most impressive upset this week, and I'm a Giants fan, but here's why I said it's the Giants. Like I hands down to the Redskins. Like y'all played an excellent game against Pittsburgh. They are undefeated team, but you can't say they were not the 11-0 team that everybody thought they were. They were. I'll go as far as to say fakes. You can look at their schedule. Their schedule was a bit on the easier side. They were without their starting running back, kicker, center, right tackle, starting cornerback, backup linebacker, and outside linebacker. Ben didn't practice all week. I mean, yeah, they're still the next man up mentality, but this team has been built off of those guys, and I think not having those guys, you can't game plan. You have to game plan differently and things like that. And I think if they'd have had that, they'd have had a better chance at winning. But What?
This is just before you go into talk about the Giants. I just want to say that, like I said last week, we had the perfect team to beat this team. They don't run the ball. They don't like to run the ball. We're a top 5 team against the pass, and we have a strong defense. Like I said it last week, that we have a strong shot of beating them. Watching the Ravens game, because this team was beatable. I feel like those injuries, okay, every team has injuries. So he still had his main guys. He still had Washington, Smith-Schuster, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson. So I feel like we can't really take anything away from him. He still had his main guys to throw the ball to, Eric Ebron. His defense, he still had his full defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. That defense is top, and Logan Thomas played his behind off that throughout that game. But the reason I said the Giants is, in past episodes we've talked about it. Seattle and Green Bay are the teams to beat in the NFC going on a Super Bowl run. And Russell Wilson is a top 3 quarterback. Seattle has a top 3 offense, and the Giants were without their main guy in Daniel Jones. That's hard to do when you have a backup like Colt McCoy. That's a hard thing to do, is to walk into Seattle and win that game. Russ only had 1 trip to the red zone, and that was on the first drive. So since then, he was not able to get back into the red zone and score a touchdown. Russ had 2 turnovers. The Giants defense, Leonard Williams had 2.5 sacks. My defense had over 5 7th-rounders or undrafted players playing on that defense. I think Patrick Graham, or as I like to call him, Rated PG, he put up a perfect game plan going against Russ, and he threw Russ off throughout that game. Yeah, DK had 5 catches for 80 yards, but Tyler Lockett also had a bad game. We were able to lock down on his top 2 targets that he likes to go to. And when you're going against Russ, I think the reason I said it's more impressive is because if you tell me if I had to pick a team to go against Seattle or Pittsburgh, I think I'd go Seattle. I'd go Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh doesn't have the offense that Seattle does. And I get their defense is on the more lackluster side, but their defense was able to contain Kyler, and that's a hard thing to do. And they beat Kyler off of their defense. And I think their ability to put up points and play a hard-fought game throughout the game, and his slogan is "Let Russ cook." We didn't let Russ cook. We slowed Russ down throughout the game. He wasn't able to catch momentum or catch a connection with his receivers. And without Daniel Jones, I just think that was a huge missing piece that they had. And having over 180 rushing yards, I think that's a pretty hard thing to do no matter what defense you go against. And that's why I said the Giants game was more impressive to me.
I go with the Washington.
You go ahead, Sam.
I go with the Washington football team versus Steelers, because strictly the Steelers defense is like, it makes up for their lackluster offense, but their offense is not that bad at all. They had all their weapons on offense. The Seattle had all their weapons on offense, but except that right tackle. That right tackle went out. He didn't play the whole game, and that's when they started to bring pressure at Russell Wilson and flushed him out the pocket, made him throw some bad reads, and y'all just threw the ball on the worst pass defense in the league. You know,
we didn't throw the ball.
Yeah, I did throw the ball.
You got to throw the ball.
Colt McCoy only had 100 passing yards. Throughout the first half, we had 0 points. We came in the second half, and we had Wayne Gallman had 4 carries for 10 yards in the first half. We came out in that second half, and we ran the ball. We had 180 yards, and that was the way we won that game. We didn't win that game off of.
I'm about to put the game away. Big third downs. Y'all passed the ball.
Yeah, we didn't get it though.
Y'all did get it. 36,
no, we didn't.
36, Colt McCoy got it. 3rd and 8, he got a flag, and y'all got it.
But on the third and four coming out of the 2-minute warning, what did we do? We passed the ball. He didn't get it. So my defense had to come out here in the 2-minute drill, go with 1 minute, 48 seconds left, with 2 timeouts, going against Russell Wilson, who's known for those 2-minute drives to whip something up, to at least score a touchdown to win the game. And my defense held him to that. That's a very hard thing to do no matter who you're going against.
And what did he do? He got sacked, didn't he?
That's good defense.
From where? The right side?
Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams wasn't on the right side. You're talking about Chad Wheeler, who was a right tackle who came in. He came in and was going against Jabal Shear. Jabal Shear didn't make the play. Leonard Williams was the one to make the play. He did make plays, but
and had the most QB pressures.
I know, but to end that game, he didn't go against Chad Wheeler. He went against their healthy side of their line, and him and Dalvin Tomlinson made the play to make it 4th down.
Who you talking about, Leonard Williams?
Yeah, him and Dalvin Tomlinson made that
But
play.
if the right side, look, if you're a QB, the right side of the pocket, Jabbar Sheridan, the bum tackle, he's getting pressured every play. What are you supposed to do? You're not going to go to the right. I mean, he's forced to go left. That's what I'm saying. Y'all forced him into he had a great game plan for us after that right tackle went out.
But I mean, I think we're just letting it fly over our heads that, I mean, I know he hasn't had the greatest year, but your game plan has to change when you don't have Daniel Jones in there and you don't have your starting quarterback who's known for rushing and creating that gap in between game planning. And I think Wayne Gallman had to go against, they stacked the box 35.8% of the time. And when you're still able to rush when they're stacking the box, that's a great thing to do. Going back to how good my O-line's been playing. Colt McCoy didn't have that good of a game. Like I'm a Giants fan and I watched that game. Colt McCoy played terrible. It was a lot of throws he threw to the ground. That pick he had to Evan Ingram, it can go either way. It was both his fault and Evan Ingram's fault. You're supposed to catch that, but that pass was thrown at the wrong place. I don't take anything away from Washington. I think they do have a great chance of this playoff run, and I will support them going down that playoff run no matter what they do. I think they're the team in the NFC East that's fighting with us to get that number 1 spot. But I think it all comes down. I still believe it's the Giants. But we're going to move on, and going back to the Patriots, we saw – huh? Oh, yeah, DJ, what do you think? Who do you think game was more impressive?
They were both 2 impressive wins. You got the Giants beating Super Bowl contenders and the Seahawks, MVP candidate and Russell Westbrook. Then you got the Washington football team, probably the number 1 defense in the NFL, baby. Just stopped the Steelers, 11-0, undefeated. Just gave them their first loss of the season. In my opinion, you gotta go with the football team.
Russell Wilson did that.
Oh, I said Russell Westbrook, didn't I? I said that earlier in the party, bro. Yeah, Russell Wilson, my fault. But I gotta go with the football team, Keith. Just off of D-line, immaculate. Great goal line stops, great pressure on Big Ben. Our corners, our corners played a very good game. Alex Smith, he's a fighter. I give him that. He came out there, he played good, he made good reads, made good passes. Logan Thomas, looking like the man out there. Cam Sands, great catches all around the board. You like the one hand, Keith. Come in.
But you gotta look at it like
Logan
this.
Thomas, he had a great game, Keith. You cannot blame that.
I don't take it away. But you got to look at it like this. Outside that last drive, Blake Martinez was out completely. He didn't come in that drive because he had a back injury. This is who my defense had. We had Nick Lalos. We had Tay Crowder, Darnay Holmes. Like, we have these guys who are young and who are 7th rounders and above and undrafted going against Russell Wilson, and they were able to contain him. I just think that's a hard thing to do. But we're gonna move on to the next question. We talked about them. The Patriots just stomped on the Chargers. Do you think that makes them a real playoff contender? And do you think they'll make it? What do you think, Ashton?
Absolutely. We all knew my answer. Like I've been predicting all year long. Everything I say, I will never lead y'all in the wrong direction. Everything I say will come true. I told y'all last week the Patriots are a serious contender. They're nothing to play with. Bill Belichick and Cam Newton just needed that time to – Cam Newton had a horrible stretch. I think 0 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He just needed that wake-up call, and he got it. The team is playing Patriots football, playing together, not anyone trying to be Superman. One game they lost because he fumbled. Nobody's trying to be Superman. Everybody is doing their motto. Just do your job, and they will be winning games from here on out.
I'm probably the only one to say this. Yeah, I said no. I think Anthony Lynn is a piss-poor coach who will be fired. And then I'll call it out. He will get fired at the end of the year. 3 out of their 4 special team plays, they had the wrong amount of players on it. They had 2 times they had 10 people on it and 1 with 12. They have a young – I think it did play a part. Belichick did he went against a rookie quarterback, and he knows how to play against those, and he knew how to fluster him. Austin Eckler's coming off a horrific injury. He did play last week, but he's still getting in the thick of things. He's still getting in the motion. I think, yeah, they beat the Ravens, Cardinals, and they now beating the Chargers. I think those are three really good teams, but I just don't think – I think it depends on what type of Cam Newton you're going to get that day. I think if you get a Cam Newton who will play his heart out and be a team player, or you'll get this Superman Cam and see which one you get depending on that day. What you think, Sam?
I don't think so. Simply off the teams ahead of them in the playoff picture. They played the Rams, Bills, Dolphins, and Jets. They'll beat the Jets, but I don't think they'll beat the Dolphins, Bills, or Rams. And the teams ahead has easier schedules, like way easier schedules than them. So I don't think they'll make it based off that.
I don't believe they're contenders. I don't. They, like Sam said, they have a very. I mean, of course they're gonna beat the Jets. Jets suck. They have a hard schedule, and even if they do make it to the playoffs, they're gonna most likely play in the first round, depending on where they're seated at. They're gonna play a team in the Chiefs, Browns, Raiders. Like those are teams that I believe that they can't beat, and they're probably playing more. But I don't. If they do make it to the playoffs, I don't think they make any type of push to go deep into the playoffs towards another ring.
I don't think they'll make.
Yeah, it seems like we all have the same idea when it comes to besides Ashton. But talking about the playoffs, this is a team who a lot of people had high hopes for, and it's just been back and forth. But do the Browns have the chance to win their division or go deep in the playoffs if they are in the wild card? I'll start with this one. I said yes and no. I said Baker's last 3 games, he's had under 260 yards and only 2 touchdowns, and both touchdowns were against Jacksonville. That running game between that two-headed monster with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, I think they need to rely on them to going down the stretch to win them these games and to push, because that offensive line is great all around the board. And I just think it depends. Like we talked about Tennessee.
Keith, you talking about the 3 games before last game?
Yeah, 3 games before last game. But we talk about Tennessee and we say it depends on Ryan Tannehill. I think this one's even more important. I think you got to see what type of Baker you're going to get. You can either get the bad Baker or the good Baker, the Baker who's feeling dangerous or not. If Baker comes out and has those 4 touchdown games, they're going to win because then they have to start respecting the pass, and it leaves it open for the run game. But if they can stack the box and stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and not have to worry about Baker's arm, I think they won't be able to go make that playoff push. They'll make the playoffs, but I don't think they'll be able to come out with a win.
I think the Browns can go deep in the playoffs with their D-line playing at a high level, Myles Garrett playing at a high level, and Nick Chubb playing great. I think that could open up a lot of different play actions for Baker Mayfield, as we saw in the last game against the Tennessee Titans. They stacked the box, made Baker Mayfield beat them, and that's what they did. They stacked the box, and Nick Chubb still had a great game. I think they could win their division because the Steelers could potentially lose 2 more games against the Bills and Colts. I think the Browns can win out for sure because they play the Ravens, Giants, Jets, and then the Week 17 matchup against the Steelers will decide who wins the division, which I think they could beat the Steelers from how the Steelers have been playing so far lately.
Okay. I want to say they totally came out and shocked me. Everybody knew me and DJ was riding that King Henry train. They came in and shut them down. So that lets me know that with their defensive coordinator, they could come into any game from here on out and take away your best weapon. I honestly feel like they can go deep into the playoffs because of their running back committee. Baker, you stated 260 yards or less. Like 260 yards to me is a good game. So I feel like he's not been playing that bad if he's putting up 260. So I feel like he continues to get better. He feeds Jarvis. Donovan Peoples-Jones had a great game. If he can come back and double that up this week, I feel like they have a strong chance of going into the playoffs if they play like a team from here on out.
Those 260, those 200. All right, go ahead, DJ.
I believe everything is I believe everything with the Browns is just like starting to click now. The defense is playing better. The offense is finally starting to click. If Baker's not on it, they'll give up. They'll give the ball to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. If Baker's on, then he'll feed Donovan. He'll feed Donovan People Jones, and then he'll feed Jarvis Landry. I I just believe in general that they're a very good team, and nobody expected the Browns, especially with the loss of Odell. Nobody
Uh,
expected the Browns to be this good. Like
uh, now,
nobody expected this.
now everything
Nobody.
click. Now everything clicking. Y'all
I
funny.
mean, everything
Lackluster,
is clicking right now.
lackluster team. They suck. Oh my god.
I mean, Baker
I
Mayfield
mean,
hasn't been playing the best. He ain't been playing like a number one overall pick.
at all.
And
But
no,
this is a team we look at as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play, and one of the best teams that we have. You got the Chiefs, and they only beat Denver by 20. They only beat Denver 22-16. Do you think that though? Do you have any concerns going down the stretch of these last few games that they'll struggle or lose a couple of these games? And I said no. I said they have a top three trio with Travis Kelce, Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill. And then you got other weapons like Sammy Watkins and Miko. I just think it was a division game. And I just think it I just think I think it was just a division game, and that's one of the reasons that it caused it to be such a close game. And I don't think the Chiefs, like when you got Mahomes, when you watch Mahomes play, Mahomes plays harder when he has to. Like he knows he doesn't have to play harder against Denver. He knows he can go against Denver and play mediocre and still come out with a win. I think when he goes against in the playoffs, like you saw last year, he was down in every game and came back and won every game. I just think Mahomes plays different when he needs to, and I don't think I don't think he needed to that game, and that's the outcome you got.
I I believe no. There should be no concerns. You still got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, and Nico Harmon. You got Patrick Mahomes, like you said. I believe they're still a very great team, of course, but it's the Broncos. Like nobody, I believe Patrick Mahomes wasn't really. I don't think anybody should really be too worried. Like, come on, they lost to the Raiders. I mean, and the Raiders almost lost to the Jets. So I don't think it's too concerning. Anything should be like people should be, oh my God, are the Chiefs not legit anymore? They just lost. They almost lost to the Broncos. No, I just think it's no concern. I think everything's good over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's one of them. Go ahead,
I
Sam.
think I think it's no, just because if you look at it, at least the names on the Broncos defense. Justin Simmons, he was playing great, and that takes away half of the field. They have nice DBs. AJ Boyd was playing great. Like the Broncos defense isn't bad, but the Chiefs just started slow, and they should have had a touchdown, but we're not gonna say nothing about that. And they just started slow, and no, I don't think there's any concerns about the Chiefs. Chiefs is legitimate. Patrick Mahomes,
I,
MVP.
yeah, I think it was one of those things where like it's any given Sunday things. But we're gonna go down. We're gonna go to the next question.
Oh,
Who's
hold
your
on. Let me speak my piece, baby. Um, I feel that I'm gonna make it quick. I feel that the Chiefs
Turn
look
camera.
past. I feel like the Chiefs look past Denver, and that's the only mistake that they made this week. They were feeling coming in hot. I think they just looked past Denver and forgot that they are a division. The division games are always different, no matter what the records of the teams are. I feel like they just look past that team. And, I feel like they're still on track to do big things in the playoffs.
We're gonna go down. I think we all should have, regardless of stats, regardless of anything, comeback play of the year for me it's Alex Smith, and it's that simple. No matter the stats, no matter anything, you just look at his story, man, and it's one of the most he had one of the most horrendous injuries I've ever seen, and most people can't come back from things like that. And to come back and play football again, and to even lead your team to almost at contention to win your division, I just think he battled back, and he was so brave going through his process and going through that and having to deal with those mental lapses and everything he had to deal with, I just think it's Alex Smith, and he should be the one to win that award just off of that injury and coming back to play.
I mean, Keith, you know the NFL committee, they look at stats for comeback of the year, comeback player of the year.
Regardless, you look at
Not
his injury.
not always. Not always. I think
I mean,
this
if
certain
Washington goes to the playoffs, I think it'd be Alex Smith. But if they don't,
Even if they don't, this kind of situation, you don't see this every day.
no.
Big Ben came off an elbow tear, 11-1, 27 TDs, 3,000 yards, and I just think it's Big Ben. If they make the Super Bowl, it gotta be Big Ben. If Washington make to the playoffs, I give it to Alex Smith.
Here is why it's
Yeah, go
Alex
ahead.
Smith and not simply a pity vote. He came in, didn't even expect to play. Came into this as a second, third string quarterback with a horrible team. He's playing behind. Well, the O-line is playing better, but at first he was playing behind a horrible O-line. Let's think about who he's throwing the ball to when he came. He had Christian Edmond. I mean, of course, the great Terry McLaurin. Logan Thomas is just started playing great. I feel like he doesn't have those same weapons as Big Ben, and he still came in as a starter and is 3-1. So I feel like as if not even just because of the pity vote, because he almost died from his leg injury, but he came back, fought back, and he's not just accepting, oh, I'm back here on the field. Oh, let me just be grateful that I'm back on the field. No, he's winning games. He's 3-1 as a starting quarterback. So I feel like that's why he gets his vote.
That's what I'm saying.
And he beat Big Ben head to head. So
My thing, Sam, is I understand Big Ben came off elbow injury, but come on, Sam. They went from almost having to take off this man's leg because he was almost going to die. He had to get 16 surgeries, multiple infections, and he had multiple infections in his leg. And to be able to come back out there and be able to lead us and be able to be 3-1 as a starter, that's a hard thing to do. Even to have the mental capacity to come back out there and play football again, knowing that if you get hurt again, you might lose your leg.
I'm telling you, he's not gonna win off a pity vote.
I mean,
It doesn't have to be a pity vote.
I mean, that's what you said.
But
I mean, regardless, I think that plays a part in it because you don't see an injury like this. Because I guarantee you, 90% of quarterbacks that had an injury like him or had to go through the process that he did, almost getting your leg taken off, would have just retired then and there, especially at the age he is. Alex Smith is like around the age of like 36, 37. You come back and play football, and like he had said, 3-1 as a starter. I think that's way harder than coming back from an elbow tear and going 11-0, and just the process that he had to go through. I think it's Alex Smith, but we're gonna move on. The Ravens beat the Cowboys on a Tuesday game, 34-17. And do you think this was do you think the Ravens are back to themselves after winning this game? I'll start because we already got DJ's answer.
No.
Go ahead, Tim. Yeah, I know you're the Cowboys fan. I know you got something to say.
Yeah, I'll stop. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the Ravens, are you when you say back to yourself, you mean playoff bound, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is an easy question. I don't think they're back to a playoff team, playoff win game team, whatever you want to call it, after being the Dallas goddamn Cowboys that suck. They suck, They suck. The Ravens beat the Cowboys. Okay, woo-hoo. Oh, my God, they're going to the playoffs. No, they're not going to the playoffs. They play – I mean, the Browns and the Steelers are in their division. And then there's the Colts and the Titans. I don't think the Ravens are going to the playoffs based off one win against the Cowboys. No.
Yeah, I agree with Sam. I said I wouldn't say they're back, but I think it's a step forward. I mean, you got to look at everything they've had. They had to come. Lamar barely got to practice. He only was in one virtual meeting and one walkthrough, and the rest of their team has just been dealing with COVID. And I think, although they haven't been able to mesh, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs based off of what's there and who has to play who, and when it comes down to things. But I think for next season or for the future, it is a step forward for them. They had 300 yards. They averaged 7.4 yards per play. I think that was a big step forward. Ashton, what you think?
Okay, let's start off with this. Let's break it down. With the new playoffs this year, we have 7 spots. So let's talk about the division leaders. We had the Bills. We had the Chiefs. We had the Steelers. And who else am I missing?
Titans.
And the Titans. Okay, that's 4 division leaders. That leaves 3 open spots. Okay, let's talk. We had the Colts. And I feel like we're the Colts and the Browns. So I feel like
the Dolphins are 8-4 too.
Okay,
so
but that's the Ravens are only 1 game behind them, and we don't know if the Dolphins will continue to win games. So I feel like it's between them, the Ravens, the Dolphins, and the Raiders to get that 7th spot. After beating Dallas, does that change my head about how they're playing? No, because they don't have a passing offense at all. They struggled against a Dallas secondary throwing the ball. But when it comes down to it, I feel like they can pull it together and make the playoffs over the Raiders and the Dolphins, strictly off the fact that their defense is coming back. We're seeing how their defense played, and I feel like they had the strongest chance over the Raiders and the Dolphins if they get better and build by these last few weeks. These last few weeks will tell the story of who makes the playoffs between them two, but I'm going with the Ravens.
I don't think it was convincing, Keith. Like,
yeah, I agree with you, DJ. It wasn't convincing.
And at the end of the day, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Like,
I didn't convince you, DJ.
I mean, Lamar Jackson, that's my boy. That's my boy at the end of the day. You know I'm rocking with him. I believe they can make a push to the playoffs, but this win wasn't too convincing. Like, Marquise Brown was still struggling to get open, even though he had that 1 touchdown. But he was still struggling to get open against the Cowboys DBs. Like, they are trash. The Cowboys suck. And Sam thinks Surtain is going to save them. No. But
I love the Cowboys slander.
But
we going to suck next year, DJ?
Yeah, y'all going to suck.
Y'all not going to win the division next year. I promise you that. Y'all aren't winning the division
next year.
Between the football team or the Giants.
Oh, okay. Trey Lance winning us the division next year.
Wow.
Pick one. Is it Zach Wilson or Trey Lance? Pick one. But we're gonna go on to my favorite part. My favorite part of doing all this picks of the week. Last week, I think I came in second with 7. Everybody tied for first with 8. But the Thursday night of this week, we've got the Patriots and the Rams, which I'll start. I think.
No, hold on, time out. I want to just correct what you said. You tied for last. Don't say second. You last. I just want you to know
overall, combining the 2 weeks, I'm still in first. So Slayer rolls.
Oh, I can tell y'all right now. Overall, Keith is in first right now with 23. Ashley, you in second with 22. I'm in third with 21. Sam, you are last with 19.
All right, so we still going Keith, me, DJ, and Sam this week then.
Yeah, Slayer rolls, Sam. You ain't in that number 1 spot yet. We got the Patriots and the Rams. Put me down for the Rams. Like I said, I just don't think
you don't stop. You don't.
I do start.
No, overall he does start. We're still going the same.
No, I'm talking about. I thought we was going off the week that we had.
No, we're going off of overall.
Oh.
I mean, if anything, me and Ashley would start. Me and Ashley at 10 this week. Y'all 2 at 9.
That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, if we're going overall in total, then Keith starts.
Yeah, that's what I'm change the order. Stay the same order. But yeah, put me down for the Rams. I said Belichick. Belichick doesn't. He strikes me as he's one of the greatest coaches ever. But I think he picked on these young quarterbacks, and I think Jared Goff, he's going to be able to come out here and show that he's a valid starting quarterback. I got the Rams.
I'm going with New England, baby. Here's why. You said he makes rookie quarterbacks play bad. I still feel like Jared Goff puts me in the mind of a rookie quarterback with the way he turns the ball over. So I'm going with the New England Patriots.
I'm going with the Rams on this one. Aaron Donald it's going to be hard for Cam Newton to be able to roll out that pocket without Aaron Donald on his butt. Sorry, about to cut. But then you still got Jalen Ramsey going up. You still got Jalen Ramsey locking down the number 1 receiver. But I'm going with the Rams. Who you got, Sam? Don't say you got New England, don't you?
Come on, bro. Don't say no dumb stuff out your mouth. You know I'm going with Aaron Donald, Ramsey, and the Rams. No, be quiet.
Oh, all right.
All right, moving on to the next game. You got Chiefs Dolphins. Come on now, that's my homie. That's my guy. It's the Chiefs. Come on.
Not too much to say. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, 2 and 3. Put me down with Kansas City.
Kansas City Chiefs, you got that trio right there, unstoppable. Even against the Dolphins defense, I believe Travis, Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill are going to put up numbers. Sam?
The Chiefs.
Easy. Chiefs all across the board.
This will probably be one of the nastiest games that I've seen on a Sunday. You got the Cowboys and the Bengals. Everything in me hates. If Joe Burrow was playing, I'd tell you now I'd pick the Bengals without a heartbeat. But I think this is Andy Dalton's revenge game going against his old team. I think he's going to play better. Put me down for the Cowboys.
Mark me down with the Dallas Cowboys. Only going with them because they're playing Cincinnati. I think those are the 31 and 32 teams when it comes down to power rankings, but I'm gonna give it to the 31.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. You know, y'all playing. If Joe Burrow was playing, like you said, I'm going with the Bengals 100%. But he's not.
Hold on, DJ. Did you just say 31, 32, and the Jaguars and the Jets?
He said, yes, he did.
You
I
goofy.
personally feel like the Jets can beat the Cowboys, and I personally feel like the Jaguars can beat the Cowboys.
No, just stop talking.
They play more. The Jaguars have played more
no.
competitive.
I go to
The
Cowboys.
Jaguars have played more competitive games this year. Keith, back me up on that.
I go to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars have. I would put the Jaguars ahead of y'all because the Jaguars, you look at it, they lost to Big Ben and them by a couple points. They lost to Green Bay by a couple points.
Okay.
Y'all lost to the football team by 20 something. Y'all are bad. It's pitiful what's going on over there in Dallas. The next game you got Titans Jaguars. It's a fantasy playoffs. I'm rocking with my boy King Henry. I'm gonna ride his way through this playoff run. Put me down for the Titans.
Derrick Henry bounces back this week to put the Titans on top. I'm going with Tennessee.
Like I said, Derrick Henry going to bounce back this week. I projected 2 touchdowns, 200 plus rushing yards.
You're stupid. I get Derrick Henry though.
All right, next game we got Giants Cardinals, and he's back, baby. Danny Dimes is back. Put me down for the Giants, baby. We're going to win this division.
You're so
slow your roll, baby boy. We bring y'all back to reality this week. Arizona on top.
And sorry, gotta go with Kyler Murray this week, Keith. You know, and especially since we find more playoff spot, I gotta see y'all lose. So I'm going with Arizona. It's gonna be nice to see that D-Hop versus Bradbury matchup.
That D-Hop versus Bradbury matchup is gonna be a really good matchup to watch.
No. Can you predict D-Hop stats this time, like you predicted DK stats?
I mean, against Bradbury, DK.
No.
Like 44 yards.
So. Predict this game.
Predicting his yards, I'll give him like 5 catches. I'll keep him the same 5 catches, 50 yards or under. Bradbury's gonna lock that side up. Like, it's just that simple. Like, Bradbury's that good of a corner.
I got the Cardinals. Kyler Murray.
Since week 1, Bradbury hasn't allowed more than 62 yards in any of his past 12 games. Like, come on now. Over his past 4 weeks, he's allowed 15 or less 3 times, not including the DK game. Like, come on. This is a top cornerback. He deserves some respect. But the next game we got, on D-Hop. The next game we got Texans Bears. That's a tough one. I just can't put my faith in Mr. Trubisky. Like, he is terrible, like really bad. So put me down for the Texans.
Last week, Deshaun Watson took the coach to give him all he had without his first string receiver, Will Fuller, being out. I'm going with Deshaun Watson this week.
Mr. Trubisky sucks. I would never put my faith in him as starting quarterback ever in my life. I'm going to Texas, even without Will Fuller. Like, Mr. Trubisky is trash.
I'm going with the Texans. You know what I'm saying? Deshaun Watson mad. He coming out with a vengeance. You know, he ain't losing. He tired of losing. He going to win this game.
All right, we got Broncos, Panthers. CMC is back this week. I love to hear that. He's on my fantasy team. But I think CMC is going to come back. He's going to play his heart out again. Put me down for the Panthers.
Not too much to be said. Not too much to be said there. Christian McCaffrey comes back. I'm taking the Panthers without Christian McCaffrey. I don't see them losing to the same ball with the Panthers.
Like you said, Christian McCaffrey's coming back. Number one, biggest weapon they'll probably have to look out for. I'm going with the Panthers.
I'm going with the Panthers. CMC is that, no cap.
All right, you got Vikings, Bucks. Everything in me. Screw it. This would be my upset for the week. Give me Minnesota. Jay Jett, let me see a couple greens in the end zone. Put me down for Minnesota.
Going Minnesota strictly on the fact that I am a Kirk Cousins fan, and I don't see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing good against competition, so I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings this week.
Wow. I'm going with the Vikings. Coming off. I mean, no, not the Vikings. Sorry. I'm going with the Bucks. I'm going with the Buccaneers. They're coming off a bye week. Very well rested.
Yes,
got enough time to watch film.
Yes, sir.
I believe they're going to go in there, beat them, come right out. I'm going with the Bucks.
I'm going with the Bucks. They're going to shut down Dalvin Cook, Devontae David. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this next game is going to be very interesting. You got the Colts Raiders. Regardless of the, I think that game against the Jets, like Ashton said about the Chiefs and the Broncos, I think they just looked past them and they got caught slipping. But I still think the Raiders are a very good football team under a very good coach. Put me down for the Raiders.
Being Keith best friends this week, I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders this week. Derek Carr is a very strong quarterback, and I see him pulling off the win against the Colts.
I'm going with the Raiders. You know, Derek Carr is somewhat going back to that form that we saw him in. I think that was 2016, 2017. I think he's going back to that form, so I got faith for Derek Carr. So I'm going with the Raiders.
Phillip Rivers playing.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Colts. Defense shut down Josh Jacobs.
This game, I don't even got to say too much. Jets Seahawks. Come on.
I mean, I don't know. The Seahawks did just lose to the Giants, but the Giants aren't bad.
Hey. Don't ever put the Giants and the Jets in the same conversation.
Russell Wilson didn't score to the fourth quarter.
Hey. Because you saying the Giants defense is the Jets defense? Come on.
No.
What you got, Ashley?
I'm going with Seattle this week. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. I'm going with Seattle. They're not losing this week.
Seattle. I would never put my money on the Jets.
Seattle. But don't be shocked if the Jets pull out a win.
We got Falcons.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
We hear you.
All
right, we got the Falcons and the Chargers. I want everything in me. Like if the Chargers, like I just don't like Anthony Lynn. He's a piss poor head coach, and he's gonna lose in this game. Put me down for the Falcons.
Very strong team. The Falcons team this year. Atlanta Falcons fans. I'll go with the Atlanta Falcons this week.
Is Julio playing this week, Keith? You know, I went with Herbert. They did just lose. Falcons don't have very good corners though, but I'm going with the Falcons.
I don't know. Cause it's like they both.
It's like Sam. It's Herbert. Like Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
They both good teams with bad records. I got the Chargers bouncing back.
Next we got Saints Eagles. Yeah, I mean, I can't go Eagles. Put me down for the Saints. I want the best for Hurts, but put me down because I need him to beat Washington in a couple weeks. So put me down for the Saints.
Sorry, who the Saints playing?
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
Oh, that's easy. I'm going with New Orleans Saints this week.
I'm going with the Saints, even without Drew Brees. Taysom Hill's been playing okay for them. He stepped up. brought something different to their offense that they haven't seen, running the ball, something Drew Brees does not do. But, yeah, I'm going with the Saints.
I'm going with the Saints. I'm going with the Saints.
Next, we got Packers, Lions. Everything like I'll say the Lions. The Lions are going to give them competition because they always do. Their games are always the Lions are always up early, and then the Packers storm back. So I'm going Packers, but don't be caught off guard if the Lions give them a fight.
I don't want to hear nothing about what your gut. I don't want to hear nothing about what your gut's telling you. Just say it if you think they're going to win. But I'm going with Green Bay, no question. They're just the strongest team right now, in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers is out there having fun with Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers. I don't believe they can stop the 1-2 punch of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. So, yeah, Packers. I understand it's a division game, but Packers at the end of the day. If we saw what Devontae Adams did to Jeff Okudah last time he was checking him. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with the Packers. You know, I don't think it's going to be a fight this time. No cap.
Last time I picked this team, y'all looked at me like I was crazy, and I'm picking them again. We got the football team versus the Niners. We're down for the Niners. I think they're gonna need to jump back against that loss against the Bills. They're not yet out of playoff contention. I still think they can win this thing.
I'm a strong fan of the 49ers, but I'm a bigger fan of Washington. I'm going with Washington.
No, I got to go with the football team. I never turn my back on my team like somebody in here did. Named Keith Arthur.
No, with Colt McCoy at quarterback, I think there was not one person that could have guessed that the Giants would have won that game, regardless.
Nobody projected us to beat.
I go Washington. You know, 49ers. If 49ers had their whole team, you know, it wouldn't be close. You know what I'm saying? But I go Washington.
It'd be a battle of two great defenses.
Sherman back?
Yeah.
About getting cooked.
McLaurin not gonna score, but they gonna win that.
Whoa.
Wait, is Gibson playing?
No,
they don't know yet.
For 3 weeks. He's at turf, so he's not playing.
I'm going with the Niners.
Hey, don't get messed up. J.D. McKissick will step up to the plate.
But I'm glad this is on Sunday night, and this will be one I will watch. This is Steelers Bills. I'm gonna say it flat out. The Steelers aren't a good football team anymore. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're not a good football team, but they're struggling and they've got to wake up. I think that the COVID situation hit them hard. Put me down for the Bills.
I'm still going with the Steelers. I'm not taking anything away from them because they go to a great Washington football team. I feel like this defense is gonna come out stronger, and Juju and the rest of the receiving corps is going to step up. I'm not losing my faith on them at the one game. I'm going with the Steelers.
You know, if they didn't lose to a great Washington football team, this would have been a game that would have really proved if they deserve to have that 12-0 record if they would have beat us. But I'm going with the Bills. I don't think they can stop. I don't think they can stop Josh Allen in my opinion, or they can contain Stephon Diggs. So I'm going Bills.
I'm going Bills. You know, Stephon Diggs, the Maryland Dome. You know. Bills all the way.
To cap it off, we got Ravens Browns. Now, I think this is gonna be the game that proves whether the Browns are a serious playoff team. But put me down for the Browns. I'm gonna take it. It's Baker. I hope Baker wakes up on Sunday feeling dangerous. Put me down for the Browns.
I'll be down with the Cleveland Browns too. I like the Ravens. They're in Maryland, but I don't see them being this Cleveland thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I know I'm going with my boy Lamar Jackson. I got the Ravens coming in here and making that playoff push that I know they can make. Lamar Jackson will come in here, shock the world, Keith. I'm calling it right now. 250-plus yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. I'm calling it right now, Keith. They're not going to be able to stop that.
What?
He's a grown man.
You mean 200? You mean 250 total yards or passing yards?
I mean 250 passing in the air, Keith. I'm talking in the air.
He just
Sam,
had
go ahead. I ain't listening.
134 on us.
Oh, we gonna drug
Yeah,
test
I'm
you,
not
boy.
listening.
We had
Go ahead,
134
Sam.
and a pick on us. You think? Come on, Cleveland all the way. Miles Garrett at least
And
3.
he won. Okay.
He went off. I'm not
Play
even.
the Cowboys.
No. He went off the refs.
That's what I'm
He went off
saying.
the goofy ass refs.
All right, well, this caps off the 4th episode. It's been a great episode. We'll talk to y'all in the next episode. Peace.